Hello and welcome to this episode of Monster Model Review. I'm host Chris Gerke. In this episode, I'm going to be reviewing a kit of the Monster of Piedras Blancas. This Resin From The Grave kit was released in 1991 and sculpted by Fred Hink. I know of about 3 kits that have been done of this character, and this one is my favorite. Fred nails the likeness, from the pointy teeth to the veins and pebbly skin. This is the silly creature you see on the screen. The kit was cast in 11 parts. The monster head, torso, legs, and arms were all hollow cast. The hands, base, nameplate, and victim head were solid cast. I was pleasantly surprised with the castings. The monster body parts had a slight mold line needing only to be scraped with the back of my X-Acto knife. The head needed some light sanding on the top, and the hands needed the most attention, getting rid of flashing in between the nails. There were also some air holes to deal with on the hands too. What was a real pain in the butt was at the arm, leg, and head joints. They were just lopped off with no thought to all the work it would take to hide the seams. But using a little AVs and a lot of patience, it will pay off for you in the end. Castings on Resin From The Grave kits are hit or miss. This one, fortunately, was a hit. I later found out that this was one of the first castings done, which is probably why it was so clean. The victim head was cast the worst, and I just decided not to use it. Plus, compared to the figure, it was kind of poorly sculpted and it almost looked cartoony. The base had a nice sandy texture to it, but the big rock and fish also have a cartoony look to them. I didn't really want to deal with changing the base that much, mostly due to a looming deadline. What I did do, however, was raise the base up so I could integrate the nameplate. Using about an inch-thick piece of styrofoam, I epoxied it to the resin base and cut it around the edges to match up. Then, taking AVs, I added a thin layer around the styrofoam and textured it with the rock. The nameplate was added and some texturing was done to blend that in. You know, there are tons of predators, aliens, and universal monsters out there, so it's always fun when you get a chance to do a kit of one of the B-movie monsters. And that wraps it up for this episode of Monster Model Review. If you're interested in getting any of the Resin From The Grave kits, you can go ahead and check them out on the web. And go ahead and check us out on the web too at monstermodelreview.com.